What is a 403b plan? In today's video, I'm going to be walking you through exactly what a 403b plan is and how it works. My name is Meikle, the co-founder of Scenic Financial. If you want more content like this, please subscribe to my channel. Also, in the comments below, I've put up a link to subscribe to my free email list so you get notified every week when I release videos just like this. So basically, what a 403b plan is your version of a 401k plan. So 401ks are savings plans for people that work for for-profit companies, such as Starbucks or McDonald's. They're given these plans to save into. Because you guys work for a non-profit institution, right, the state or the school district, your plan is simply called a 403b plan. Just a different tax code, but it works very similarly. So what this is an employer-sponsored account that allows you to save more money into for your retirement. So basically what you need to know is that for this plan, you're able to start, stop, increase, and decrease anytime you want to. So it's very flexible in how you contribute money into it. There's no open enrollment. You can stop it anytime you want to. You can increase or decrease anytime you want. So it's very, very flexible. Now, if you're wanting to start, stop, or making those kind of changes, you just have to let payroll know before they cut payroll, usually by the 10th of the month, as a pretty good deadline you want to hit. So if you want it to increase next month, let them know by the 10th. Now, because this is an employer-sponsored plan, all contributions have to come through your paycheck. You can't take money from a savings account or some separate account to fund it on a monthly basis. It has to come out of your paycheck. That's also the really good thing about it, because you set it up once and you kind of forget about it, and money just goes in there every single month, just systematically gets invested into the plan. Now, as far as how much you can contribute into this plan, as of 2020, you can put up to $19,000 per year if you're under the age of 50, and you can go all the way up to $25,000 per year if you're over the age of 50. So it's got a very big limit of how much you put into it. These plans also have no income limitations to them. So it doesn't matter how much money you or your spouse makes, you can always put money into this type of plan. Now, as far as access goes, there's a couple of different ways you can actually get access to your money. So first and foremost, if you're age 59 and a half or older, you now have access to your money. You don't have to be retired or separated from service like you do to get access to that Plan 3 account. So as soon as you hit that age, you can then start using that money as you want to. Just pay your taxes if taxes are due. However, if you take your money out before the age of 59 and a half, there's a 10% penalty that applies on top of the taxes owed. So it's something you really don't want to do, but there are a couple of workarounds around it. First and foremost is if you are separated and at least age 55, that 10% rule is gone in the 403b plans. Before that, you're allowed to take money out either through a hardship distribution or through a loan. Now, it's going to depend on your employer if they allow those two things. Most of them are going to allow you to do a hardship. Loans are really going to kind of depend. Some school districts allow it, some don't. So it's important to check with yours before you go through that process. So basically, a hardship withdrawal, unless you take money out, you have to pay your taxes on it, but you don't give the money back. It's yours to keep to spend on what you want to. But you have to qualify in order to do that. And there are a couple of different things that the IRS will allow you to use that money for. And you do have to provide proof of what you're going to use that money for, documentation. So some quick examples of that is if you just need money for a down payment on a primary residence, or if you needed to pay off certain medical bills. Those are a couple of ways you can get money out of the 403b plan without paying that 10% penalty. The alternative to it is to take a loan out. Now, a loan is exactly like it sounds. You're basically borrowing money from yourself. It sounds kind of funny, but you're going to take that money out. There are no taxes due. There's no penalty. You can use it for whatever you want to. You don't have to provide any kind of reason as far as why you're going to use that money. Now, that's because it's a loan, you do have to pay yourself back, and you're going to pay yourself back over 5 years. Now, if you don't pay yourself back over those 5 years, then it becomes taxable with all the penalties. So if you take a loan, make sure you put it back. Now, the interesting part about a 403b loan is just like any other loan, there's an interest rate that has to be paid to take out that money. But that interest rate actually gets paid back into your own account. It doesn't go anywhere else. So you're basically borrowing money from yourself and paying yourself back with interest on it. So it's a very smart way to leverage if you're trying to pay off some other high interest debt, or you just wanted to get by some hard times. Now, as far as how 403b plans are taxed, probably about 95% of all 403b plans are set up as a traditional pre-tax investment. I put my money in, I get a tax deduction, I'll pay my taxes on it down the road. And some of you guys may actually have the option to use a Roth 403b. which is pretty much exactly like how a Roth IRA works. You're paying your taxes on the money today, it's going to grow tax-free, and you're never going to owe tax on that money ever again. So that's a pretty good investment to have as well. But very few school districts allow you to do that. So if you currently have a 403B plan, there's a pretty good chance it's the pre-tax version here. And I've got a video coming out on why those pre-tax 403Bs really aren't the best thing to have. And I'll link that up here. Now it's important to know that these 403B plans are really just a shell or an account type. It's not in itself an investment. It actually houses the different investments in it. So you actually can pick and choose how you want the plan to be invested. Now the options you get to select from, it's really going to depend on the company you selected to open your 403B plan with. Now there's a whole slew of different companies you're allowed to use. Every school district has its own approved list of who you can use. And you can only use a 403B from one of those providers. So it's going to kind of depend on what your school district allows. So having a 403B plan set up and working for you is a really smart idea, and I encourage everyone to have some kind of savings going on an ongoing basis. And the 403B really makes things easy. You set it up once and you forget about it, and it's going to go in every single month. Now this is highly recommended for people on plan 2 because if you remember, you actually don't have any kind of savings built into your pension plan like they do on plan 3. So you may retire with this big old pension, but it's just a fixed income. And if anything comes with retirement, you're gonna have no extra cash to draw on. So it's really important to have some kind of savings set up on the side. 403B is a great tool for that. For people on plan 3, this is also a good option because even though you may have a savings account set up, most people got default into that lower rate. You're doing 5 or 6% a year, and maybe you're wanting to put them in more away now so you can actually retire earlier or just have more money down the road. So the 403B works well for you guys as well. Now before you rush off and jumping into one of these, you're probably asking yourself, how do I even sign up for one of these? Well, I have the video right here to tell you exactly how to do that. But I have to caution you, before you rush in to signing up for one of those, you have to know there are 2 different types of 403B plans out there. And if you get the wrong type, it can make for a very sticky, messy, and expensive situation. So make sure you watch this video first before choosing a 403B plan. That's it for this video. I'll see you guys next week. And remember that your future depends on what you do today.